Hello there, this is the World News at 12 on Voice of the People, 90.3 FM. My name is Choma Innocent, and here are the top stories. Trump imposes new sanctions on Russia. Nnamdi Kanu's lawyers withdraw from court case. Police arrest Sowore at Federal High Court in Abuja. And Amaechi declares himself best ADC presidential aspirant. Details now. Thank you for staying tuned. The World News at 12 begins on the foreign scene, where the United States has announced new sanctions targeting Russia's two largest oil companies in an effort to pressure Moscow to negotiate a peace deal in Ukraine. The announcement came one day after U.S. President Donald Trump said a planned meeting with his Russian counterpart Vladimir Putin in Budapest would be shelved indefinitely. While the economic impact to Russia is likely to be minimal, it represents a major shift in Trump's foreign policy, having previously said he would not impose sanctions until European nations cease buying Russian oil. The Kremlin said Russia was immune to the sanctions. Trump had repeatedly threatened tougher measures against Moscow, but has avoided them until now in hopes of brokering a peace deal in the 3.5-year-long invasion. Meanwhile, back home in Nigeria, Kanu Agabi, a former Attorney General of the Federation and lead counsel to the detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, today applied to withdraw his representation in the ongoing terrorism trial before the Federal High Court in Abuja. Kanu is facing trial on a 7-count charge bordering on terrorism filed against him by the federal government. When the matter was called today, Agabi informed the court that he would no longer be representing the IPOB leader, adding that the defendant had decided to take back the case from his lawyers. In the same manner, all the senior advocates of Nigeria involved in the case also announced their withdrawal from the case. Nnamdi Kanu, confirming the development, told the court that he would be representing himself for now, but noted that the position might change later. The trial judge, Justice James Omotosho, asked whether he should assign a lawyer to represent him, but Nnamdi Kanu declined. Meanwhile, addressing the court orally to open his defense, Kanu argued that the court lacks jurisdiction to try him. Speaking after the court session, the former counsel Kanu Agabi said Nnamdi Kanu has the right to defend himself. Let's take a listen to the lawyer speaking after the court session.
Decided to conduct defense by himself. He has a right to do so. We respect that decision. We wish him well going forward.
Still on the World News at 12, human rights activist and former presidential candidate Amaechi Sowore has been arrested by the police in Abuja. Sowore was picked up shortly after leaving the Federal High Court, where he had appeared today. According to information obtained by Sahara reporters, the arrest was ordered by the Commissioner of Police in the Federal Capital Territory (FCT), Sowore, who was scheduled to appear before Justice Emeka Nwite over what he described as a bogus and farcical charge of alleged forgery of a police wireless message filed under the instruction of whom he described as the legal Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetoku, was informed at the court that the judge would not be seated. A source disclosed that instead the police officer approached Sowore, informing him that he was under arrest on the orders of the FCT Commissioner of Police. Meanwhile, members of his legal team, led by human rights lawyer Tokwe Temokun, immediately confronted the officers, demanding to know the reason for the sudden arrest. However, the police insisted they were acting on direct instruction from the commissioner and proceeded to escort Sowore into a waiting vehicle. Former Governor of Rivers State, Rotimi Amaechi, has opined that his experiences have given him an advantage over other presidential aspirants in the African Democratic Congress (ADC). Amaechi made this known in a post via his Facebook page while sharing his experience in tackling the security crisis that engulfed Rivers State during his tenure. Amaechi, who is seeking the ADC presidential ticket ahead of the 2027 election, said Port Harcourt, the Rivers State capital, was overrun by criminals when his administration administration assumed office. The former Minister of Transportation said economic activities in Port Harcourt had been crippled but were revived by his administration within 6 months. President Bola Tinubu will today formally swear in Professor Joash Amupiton, a senior advocate of Nigeria, as the new chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. The ceremony is scheduled for 12 noon at the Council Chamber at Presidential Villa in Abuja and will be witnessed by members of the Federal Executive Council, the National Assembly leaders, legal luminaries, civil society groups, and senior INEC officials. Shortly after the inauguration, Amupiton is expected to hold his first official meeting with INEC directors at the Commission's headquarters in Abuja. President Tinubu had earlier explained that Amupiton was nominated for his apolitical stance, integrity, and track record of service. The Senate on Wednesday called for the transfer of the burden of proof in election petitions from aggrieved candidates to the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. The proposal formed a key part of deliberations as lawmakers debated the general principles of a bill seeking to repeal the 2022 Electoral Act and enact a new Electoral Act 2025. They argued that the move will make the electoral process more credible, transparent, and accountable. But the Senate's fresh proposal sharply divided opposition parties, with the People's Democratic Party (PDP) warning that the move could undermine democracy. You're currently listening to the World News at 12 right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. We'll take a short break, and when we return, we'll head into the news analysis segment. To stay tuned. Welcome back. You're still listening to the World News at 12 right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. I'm being joined by Barrister Asim Adams. Barrister, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, Barrister, there is a situation. Barrister, you might need to turn down the volume on your radio set.
Okay. You're going on the radio.
Yes, please turn down the volume of your radio.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you, sir. But please still turn down the volume or turn off the radio set, please, sir.
Okay. Let me bring it down. Okay.
All right, Barrister Asim Adams. It's still a bit noisy, but let's manage. I want to know the legal impact of Nnamdi Kanu sacking his lawyers or his lawyers withdrawing from the case and him representing himself.
Nnamdi Kanu has the right, every citizen has the right of representation by himself or by his lawyers of his choice. So if Kanu decides not to hire lawyers, it's his own prerogative. So if he wants to defend himself by himself, it's okay. He can go ahead and do that. But I know that at the end of the day or the trial, certainly he will need the expertise of lawyers to help him prepare some addresses, as the case may be. So, but he has the right to represent himself, yes.
All right, Barrister, but we're looking at how this will actually help his legal case. You know how he's had this case running for a while now. He recently asked the judge, there was a time he was in court with Justice Binta Nyako. He asked her to recuse herself from his case. Right now, while defending himself, he said that the court lacks jurisdiction to try him. So how exactly does this help his case if he hopes to be free from all of these legal battles?
It does not help him. It's out of frustration that I'm sure he reacted. You know, he felt that things are not going the way they ought to be. So he's frustrated and with the process. And once he's frustrated with the process, it means he can resort to open and close situation of self-help like this. Let me do it myself instead of wasting money and time on lawyers. You know, so that is the situation. It does not, in my own opinion, it would have been best for him to, hire lawyers, maintain the ones he hired.
Are you with me, Barrister Asim Adams? Hello, Barrister Asim Adams, are you with me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Please go ahead.
So he has the right to hire some other lawyers to represent his interests properly. I believe Kanu Agabi or the son he took and his team, these are very seasoned and experienced lawyers. They have seen it all in the legal practice. I don't really know exactly why he had to drop all of them. The reasons are best known to him. So maybe he felt that they are not representing his interests very well, which right he has to hire and fire, the lawyers that are working for him. But I believe what Kanu would have done is, like I said earlier, for him to, hire some other lawyers that work for him. Let me tell you, people think that the job of lawyering is as easy as ABC. It's very technical. So you might think that you are a professor, you know everything about law. But when it comes to technicalities and procedural aspect of it, you might not know those things. So it is best suited if Nnamdi Kanu had fired his lawyers, then hired other ones to represent his interests. Because if you get to a point in the proceedings that he cannot navigate, he needs experts, legal experts, to do such navigations for him. So that is my advice to him at this point in time. But all well and good, if he says he does not want the services of a lawyer, it's left to him. The concern allow him to represent himself or by his lawyers. And he has chosen to represent himself. It's all right.
Barrister Asim Adams, on Monday, his lawyer, Aloy Ejimako, was arrested alongside his brother after the protest that took place in Abuja, right? So that is one of his lawyers out of the way, and now these others have withdrawn from the case. The judge has adjourned that case until tomorrow, but can he really get that legal representative that will help his case before tomorrow?
There's nobody representing Kanu. It is Kanu's right to either request for a lawyer or hire a lawyer or hire lawyers, or if he does not have the means to do that, the legal aid council, they are there. They can provide lawyers for him who will work for him, maybe on pro bono basis or something like that, as the case may be. But you see, one thing is very clear. We have seen situations of this nature found out in the past. In 1995, Ken Sowore and his group, they were being tried. Gani pulled out of the trial. He pulled out of the proceedings because of misgivings between his representation and that of the panel. For me, I thought that was fatal, because at the end of the day, Sowore and his team were all convicted and hanged. And if they didn't have that expertise needed as with legal practitioners to represent them properly, and based on the pulling out of his lawyers, the tribunal gave their judgment just like that, the way they liked. The same thing is panning out here now. You don't act in anger when you get a situation like this. You can never be satisfied with the judicial process. Even if you go to UK, you go to America, there are situations that make you not believe in the system there. If, for instance, things are not going your way. So you don't do things, Abuja.
Barrister, are you there?
Okay. Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
So that is the situation. So he needs to, you see, we need to use what we call wisdom right now in matters of this nature. Abuja police station. All right. So that is the situation. That is what it is.
All right, Barrister, thank you very much for your time. I can tell that you seem to be on the road, so let's let you go now.
Absolutely, yes. I will get back to you. Yes.
Thank you so much for your time. We've been talking with Barrister Asim Adams on the legal implications of Nnamdi Kanu sacking his whole legal team. Let's now bring in Dr. Peter Anosike for the rest of the the news analysis segment. Thank you for joining me today. Good afternoon.
Thank you for having me.
Were you surprised to hear that Nnamdi Kanu has sacked his legal team? This case has had so many twists and turns ever since his extraordinary rendition from Kenya, and he's been in and out of the courts on this terrorism trial. Like I told Barrister Simadam, like I reminded him, there was a time when he told Justice Binta Nyako to recuse herself from his case, and that was one that a lot of people were talking about because a lot of people felt that he was being very rude at that moment. And then he later apologized to the judge after she recused herself from that case. It's been a lot of back and forth. On Monday, one of his lawyers was arrested, and then his brother as well. And now other lawyers have withdrawn themselves from the case. Is there a conspiracy somewhere? Even though the lawyers are saying they didn't just withdraw from the case, he sacked them. He asked them to go. And he knows he does not have a law age marker. So what is he hoping on? What defense is he hoping on to help his case at this critical time?
Well, for me, just like Barrister Adam said, he is acting out of frustration. The state is trying to frustrate him. So his mind, his brain is not in one piece. Understand? Because his brother Emma has been helping him in other things, domestic and so on and so forth, and now he is in detention. So this is as a result of frustration, and I'm not happy that he should defend himself, because there are technicalities which he may not know. And but he said for now that the situation might change in due course. So I hope that it will change in due course. But really, I'm not in support of him defending himself, even though he has nothing to defend, because he is innocent of all the accusations.
He is innocent of the crime of terrorism that he's been accused of.
He is very, very innocent of all the accusations. So they are just holding him, punishing him because of where he comes from, period.
But the trial judge, that's Justice James Omotosho, asked him if the court should assign a lawyer to represent him. But Nnamdi Kanu declined. What exactly? He talked about the technicalities of law that he may not know, so that he doesn't actually make his case worse than it already is.
One, when he talked about, I said right now he's not in one piece. The government is frustrating him. Nigeria state is frustrating him. So he cannot think straight. And
the best way is to sabotage himself because he's not thinking straight. Will this be the time when he should be adding more legal luminaries to his legal team?
I don't think if he is sabotaging himself. But the issue of jurisdiction that he is talking about, a higher court has passed judgment on this. Court of Appeal has discharged and acquitted Nnamdi Kanu. So there's no way a lower court will begin to adjudicate on a court on an issue that a superior court has already passed a judgment on. So for me, the government just want to be doing what FENA called parabunating, because really they have nothing against him.
Now, after sacking his legal team and deciding to represent himself in trying to open his defense, the first thing he says is that the court lacks jurisdiction to try him. Because
a superior court, a higher court, has passed judgment on this particular issue. A higher court has already passed judgment on this particular issue. So why going back to a lower court? So for me, it doesn't make any sense. That could be the reason why he was talking about jurisdiction, because it started from the high court to the appeal court, and the appeal court passed a judgment. But the powers that be, the enemies of Igbo people, said that he will not go.
In what way? Whenever we have this conversation, you always say this, and then it's making it look as if, what about the terrorism that he's been accused of?
Where is Sheikh Gumi? Where is Sheikh Gumi as we speak?
Before now.
Where is Sheikh Gumi as we speak?
What does that have to do with the Nnamdi Kanu's case?
Because Sheikh Gumi has said far worse things than Nnamdi Kanu has ever said. Was Nnamdi Kanu caught with a gun?
Let's take it easy and not be sentimental. Let's not get
Nnamdi Kanu is being tried because he's an Igbo man. Period.
Let's not get
I must get emotional. I must get emotional. I must get emotional. Where is Sheikh Gumi? So Nnamdi Kanu is in detention simply because he is an Igbo man.
And not because of what he said, not because of the
Sheikh
violence.
Sheikh Gumi has said,
because of
excuse
all the
me,
violence of
Sheikh Gumi,
not because of the
Sheikh
creation
Gumi
of the Eastern
has said
Security Network.
far worse than what Nnamdi Kanu said. Asade Dokubo has said far worse than what Nnamdi Kanu said. So Nnamdi Kanu is in detention because he is an Igbo man. Period. So we should get it straight.
So there's nothing anybody wants to say now that's going
we
to
should get it straight
from this particular line of thought.
Do
you know that there was a group on the same day that people were protesting for the release of Nnamdi Kanu in Abuja? There was another group protesting against his release, saying that they do not want him to be released because they have family members who have been a victim of insecurity that his violent rhetoric pushed in the southeast due to the creation of the Eastern Security Network, and some boys who were armed with weapons who would go on a rampage every Monday shooting people in a particular market in Ebonyi State, an area where students reside. You saw people coming out on a Monday shooting sporadically into the air just because they believe that people should sit at home on the Mondays. Up till now, that sit at home still occurs in certain areas. On Mondays, economic activities being stalled. And then you say, yes, maybe this trial has gone far longer than it should, but saying that he's being persecuted for where it is that he comes from, don't you think that is...
Nnamdi Kanu is being persecuted because he is an Igbo man.
It's obvious that there is nothing anybody will say to do
in the north.
Line of thought. Let's talk about Samuel.
In the north, they are negotiating with terrorists. Are you aware of it? They are negotiating with people who are carrying assault rifles, rocket launchers. Was Nnamdi Kanu caught with a penknife? Was Nnamdi Kanu caught with a penknife? So he's in detention because Nigeria hates Igbos.
And there are not people they're not Igbo people in high positions.
I have mentioned names.
Tinubu's cabinet.
Sheikh Gumi,
President Muhammad Buhari.
Those protesting.
Going on like this, like I said,
those protesting.
Really sentimental, really emotional.
Excuse me.
Let's talk about something else.
You cannot separate me from what I am feeling.
No problem. That's your thoughts. That's your opinion. So hold on to it. Let's talk about Amaechi Sowore, who was arrested just this morning after appearing in court. He had a case in court as well, but then he appeared and he was told that he's to be put under arrests, allegedly on the orders of the Commissioner of Police in the FCT. It was when he arrived at the court that he was informed that the judge would not be sitting. There's a video currently making the rounds of him and Nnamdi Kanu, shaking hands and greeting right there in court. And then afterwards, he was leaving the court when he was arrested. And one would wonder exactly what is the reason for that arrest. You know that he had visited Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer and brother in police custody when they were arrested on Monday. He was not arrested on the protest ground. So he's been arrested on the basis of this protest.
That is the kind of law enforcement agencies that you have in this country. One, what took Sowore to the court is because he has a case there. So assuming he didn't come, they will have said that he jumped bail. Understand me? Or that it is contempt. Now he has appeared as a law-abiding citizen, and they are now arresting him. This is the same thing when they send soldiers to Umuahia to go and kill Nnamdi Kanu. Nnamdi Kanu run away. And they are accusing him of jumping bail. He jumped bail while you send soldiers to go and raise his house. So this is how your Nigerian state think. This is how your Nigerian state think.
It's not your own Nigerian state. Don't you have a Nigerian passport?
So until you see it, until you see what I am carrying, you know whether it is Nigerian passport or not. So the issue is this: Sowore, as a law-abiding citizen went to court for his trial. Now, the judge, I don't know whether he deliberately stayed away because so that Sowore would be arrested for doing what? Because if you had wanted to arrest him, he visited Emmanuel Kanu and Barrister Ejimako in the police station. If you are looking for somebody and he come to your office, you do not arrest. So the way they think makes me mad. The way these people think, even 6-year-old children think better. 6-year-old children think better than these adults. And when before Sowore carried out this police protest, I told him, Sowore, don't do that. You are wasting your time. These people don't deserve it. I told him, don't do anything for the police. They don't deserve it. And it is those people that he went and fought for that are now punishing him. I warned him before. They say, Sowore, you shouldn't do this. They don't deserve it. So, protest is everybody's right. It's part of your fundamental human right. Why must you arrest somebody who went on a lawful protest? Because one, court refused to stop all the protest. They went to court, but court say no, that this protest should go on. You are now arresting somebody who obeyed, for a protest that court did not stop, which is very, very unfortunate. Which is very well. I know that highest tomorrow or Monday he will be out.
So was this arrest just meant to send a message to him that they have eyes on him, and that if he doesn't tread carefully, maybe he will be going through the same thing that Nnamdi Kanu is going through right now?
Which means they don't know who Sowore is. Which means they don't know who Sowore is, because this struggle started more than 30 years ago. They cannot intimidate. Even the army couldn't stop him. So these people can also not stop him.
You know, he's been accused of forging a police wireless message, and then he's also been accused of calling the IGP an illegal IGP, and also of calling the president a criminal in a tweet that he made. So it's not just all about the protest right now. He has a lot of different issues, but with the Nigerian police, with the federal government, with the Nigerian president.
But when he visited Emmanuel Kanu in police station, why didn't they arrest him? You are looking for somebody. The person that you are looking for come for your office. You did not arrest him. He now goes somewhere. You now go there and arrest him. Does it make sense? The cases that you talk about are in the court. Court is yet, and he is still innocent of those cases.
All right, then we have Barrister Marshal Abubakar on the line. Barrister Marshal Abubakar, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
Thank you so much. I've been trying to reach you for a while. My name is Chioma Innocent. I'm calling you from Voice of the People 90.3 FM. You're live on radio right now. We got reports that Amaechi Sowore was arrested this morning. You're part of his legal counsel, so we want to hear from you.
Yeah, actually, I'm currently in court. But Mr. Sowore was arrested this morning. The Federal Court premises. They had a matter in court today, and then while he was in court, trying to attend to his own personal matter and that of Nnamdi Kanu, a very good friend of ours, who also had his trial today. The officers of the Nigerian police force stopped on him and then arrested him. I mean, no invitation was extended to him. He was at their office yesterday and the day before yesterday to scare the release of Ejimako and our brother, Fanboy, Kanu's younger brother, who were both arrested in connection with the protest that was organized and staged on Monday. Unfortunately, no reason has been adduced for his arrest and detention, aside the fact that he was arrested for exercising his right to peacefully protest in Abuja. We've often repeated this fact, which is a truth, that protest is not a crime, that the right of Nigerians to protest and to demand for a change in government policies.
Are you with us, Barrister Marshall Abubakar? All right, we'll keep trying to reach Barrister Marshall Abubakar. That is one of is part of Sowore's legal team. So we want to know what is the reason for this arrest. He is attributing it to the protest that Sowore led on Monday. There is a video making the rounds on social media released by Sowore's team of where he was greeting Nnamdi Kanu this morning and promising him that he will be out very, very soon. He was literally saying, Mazi, you will be out very soon. But the same Sowore has come out to claim that the powers that be do not want Nnamdi Kanu out alive, that they don't want Nnamdi Kanu to be released alive, or that they want to convict him. He had said before, right here on VOP 90.3 FM, while on an interview with Esther Machko on the Evening Rush, he said that they want to convict Nnamdi Kanu and then now use his pardon as a yardstick, or just dangling his pardon before the people of the South in order to get support for this particular administration.
That's pure waste of time. That is pure waste of time. It makes no meaning. I have said on this program that Nnamdi Kanu did not commit any offense. He's just a victim of Buhari's hatred on the Igbo people, period.
We have Barrister Abubakar back on the line. Barrister, thank you for joining us again.
Yes, thank you.
So you were in court with Sowore this morning when he was arrested.
Yes, we were in court this morning while he was arrested. We were due to appear in a matter that was filed by the same police force against him for similar dissents, for issuing a similar protest in the past earlier in the year. We were in court for that matter, and then to also see our very good friend Nnamdi Kanu before they sought on him and arrested and whisked him away to the FCT command of the Nigerian Police Force. The reason they were adduced was that he led a protest in Abuja. We've often repeated this fact, which is the truth, that protest is not a crime, that Nigerians have the right to register their displeasure and to also embark on peaceful protests in any part of Nigeria at any time in demand that a particular government policy be changed. We often drew the attention of the example of America. Just last Saturday before now, over 7 million Americans protested in America where they were asking that America knows no kings. And this protest was led, we had over 7 million people in America protesting against Trump personally, and in Washington DC, all over America. Unfortunately, in Abuja here, the reverse is the case. And this is a government that have shown that they are always ready to negotiate with bandits. This is a government that calls peace parley with bandits. This is a government where bandits carry guns and broad lights, attack people, and these same bandits are being paid by the same government agencies. Both state and non-state actors hold meetings and hold peace palace. But the government is interested in harassing innocent Nigerians who simply carry placards and demand for changing governance. This government have shown that they lack focus, that they lack the appropriate means to settle peaceful protests and to negotiate appropriately with Nigerians who are simply demanding a change in government policies. The government must prioritize, and we're demanding that Sowore be immediately released. Now, we were at the FCT command this morning where he was interviewed. He's been moved to the notorious Sasabatua as we speak now, where they are planning to detain him for as long as we don't know. But we are telling this government, and we are saying it without any fear of contradiction, that if they fail to release Sowore within the next 48 hours, they will have the years to contend with. We will occupy the streets and demand that Sowore be released immediately. We will not take this lightly with them. Protest is not a crime. All Sowore has done in this instance case is to demand for a change in continuous government policy. And what is this government policy? The continuous unlawful detention of Nnamdi Kanu. For about 10 years, this man has been detained, has been denied, has been deprived of every known right by subsequent Nigerian governments. We believe that this detention is unlawful, is unjustified. The extradition of Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya unlawfully back to Nigeria here violates every known international conventions and treaties that Nigeria has signed, and we are simply saying that the rights of every detainee, including Nnamdi Kanu, must be respected, and we will demand that this present issue is a political one. That the government should fight the constitution to this instance problem. I believe that this call is legitimate.
All right,
and the best the government can do is to resolve this.
All right, Barrister Marshall Abubakar, you're saying that your client was arrested because of the protest he led on Monday. Now, he's told us on this particular station that there is a plan to convict Nnamdi Kanu and then maybe release him later to now come to a political solution later on after he has been convicted of the crime of alleged terrorism against the people of Nigeria. Just yesterday, your client also made a post on Facebook alleging that they do not want him to come out alive and that they want him to die right there in detention. And also, you know, he has a case with the IGP where he called him an illegal IGP. Also has a case, the federal government versus Sowore, where he called the president a criminal. Are you saying that all of this, right, are not a part of the reasons why he was arrested? Apart from this Nnamdi Kanu's case, even though we can see videos that they were together in court this morning, you know, greeting each other, after which he was approached by the police and then arrested.
There were deliberate attempts by the government of the day to shut every new opposition in the country. You can see now that everybody, every dog and goat and criminals and every thief in government today is running back to APC. The thinking is this, that once you join the winning team, they are winning team according to them, that your sins are forgiven, and then you are now washed with a hypo, and then all your debts and sins are washed away. That is the thinking of this government. But we are telling them that this campaign does not align with the agitations of the Nigerian people. The intention to convict Kanu at all costs is now very, very apparent. This government is focused on ensuring that Nnamdi Kanu is convicted by hook or by crook. We are saying in very clear terms that as far as we are concerned, agitations and demand for a sovereign state is a right recognized under the UN Charter, and that the demand of Nnamdi Kanu for a sovereign state of the Biafra people is not a crime. We are simply saying that Kanu has the right to agitate for the liberation of his people. That Kanu has the right to agitate and demand that the Biafrans who have been subjected to intimidation, harassment, and oppression in their country, that they have the right to demand for a country of their own. And if Nnamdi Kanu decides to lead this agitation, he has committed no crime in that regard. The right to self-determination is a fundamental United Nations right. Similarly, we are also aware that there is a clandestine move by the government to suppress every dissent and to annihilate and kill Amaechi Sowore. And we are simply saying that we will not condescend or inferior to that ignominy.
You are
we will demand
the federal government wants Amaechi Sowore dead?
Exactly, that is the plan.
The last time we spoke, you said the same thing, where he was arrested.
I said the same thing, yes, and I'm standing on it even, yes, and I'm saying it on very good pedestal. We received very strong feelers, even while Nnamdi Kanu's brothers, Ejimako, the lawyer, and the brother were kept in Kuje prison. There were plans by the Nigerian governments from the presidency to have them in prison. We got that information, that intel, and we put it to the public. We also have on very good authorities now that there is also a plan to shut down the Kanu for life. The same agitation or the same plan is also being carried again. Is also carried against Amaechi Sowore, who has now been kept in the notorious SARS cell, where we know that we have hardened criminals whom they can simply unleash in the cells to kill him. And we are saying that that plan will fail, and it must be signed and reconsidered as an otherwise Nigerians will troop out in mass and engage this government once and for all.
All right, Barrister Marshall Abubakar, just before you go, I want to get some legal clarification and perspective to Nnamdi Kanu's case. He literally fired all of his lawyers this morning, and Barrister Aloy Ejimako was arrested on Monday during that protest that Amaechi Sowore led. We can see that there is an intertwining of Amaechi Sowore's case and Nnamdi Kanu's case as at this morning, starting from on Monday, right? After firing his lawyers, what happens? Just yesterday, there were certain Nigerians, political elite, whom he wrote down to be his witnesses in this case. Was he not afraid that these people can actually witness against him? You're saying that there is an agenda to have him murdered in custody, not just him, but Amaechi Sowore as well. Some people are also saying that the court has already decided his case, that there are some talks that his conviction has already been written, and his lawyers have literally done all that they can do and exhausted their playbook. So I want to get your legal perspective on that, with him firing his lawyers and all.
There is a clear attempt to intimidate all the legal teams of Nnamdi Kanu. As we speak, 8 of his lawyers were petitioned to the LPDC.
Oh, his lawyers were petitioned.
Yes, his lawyers were petitioned by the
fire them in order
8 of the lawyers were petitioned by the LPDC. Who petitioned them to the LPDC? It was the CJ of the Federal High Court. I have never in my life witnessed such in my life.
Wait,
where a CJ,
you are letting us know that the Chief Justice of the Federal High Court in Abuja
petitioned 8 of Nnamdi Kanu's lawyers to the LPDC that they should be sanctioned for defending their clients. To him, he said they went after the court to engage in extrajudicial matters by seeking for political solutions to the problem.
The last time Nnamdi Kanu spoke, he said he was afraid that his conversation with his lawyers could be recorded, and they were assigned a particular courtroom where they could gather together and have their own private.
These same lawyers are now being intimidated and being harassed by state and non-state actors, including members of the judiciary.
The reason for them withdrawing from that case is to preserve themselves so that they are not dragged into Nnamdi Kanu's case.
There's already a fait accompli. The intention is to commit Nnamdi Kanu at all costs. And now the lawyers who decided to embark on this task of defending him at the cost or at the expense of their love and their career are now being harassed and intimidated. So the appropriate thing to do for me, which Nnamdi Kanu has done today, is to say, well, since I am the target, since I'm the person you are trying to get at all costs, please let me defend myself and handle my case myself, which is appropriate. Nnamdi Kanu is somebody who is fearless and brave. That must be given to him. We are saying that the decision of the lawyers to step aside and allow Nnamdi Kanu, which was a decision that was well thought out by both Nnamdi Kanu and the lawyers, is one that is found on very good pedestal. Nnamdi Kanu has the right to defend himself either personally or through lawyers of his choice. Now, since it has been shown very apparently that there is an attempt to subjugate and also punish those lawyers alongside Kanu for simply carrying out their duties as lawyers in defense of a person who has been oppressed by the Nigerian states, I think it's appropriate that those lawyers step aside, which they've done today. So Nnamdi Kanu will defend himself, the witnesses will be called, they've been subpoenaed by the court, they will appear in court, and then the matters will proceed the way the government wants it.
Thank you,
if you want to give a dog a bad name to kill him, please go ahead and proceed.
Thank you so much, Barrister Marshall Abubakar, for giving us insight into these situations. And we hope to hear from your client very, very soon on how the investigations, interrogations are ongoing so that he can be released. Thank you for your time.
No problem. Thank you.
All right, then you've been listening to World News at 12 right here on Voice of People 90.3 FM. Dr. Peter Anoske, you've heard all that Barrister Marshall Abubakar said. He's even giving us, a scoop that we didn't know about and letting us know that it's not as if Nnamdi Kanu just woke up and he was frustrated and said, okay, let me chase everybody from my legal team away. It's because they were actually petitioned. There was a petition from the Chief Justice of the Federal High Court in Abuja to the disciplinary body for lawyers in the country to petition Nnamdi Kanu's lawyers to punish them for representing him.
This shows you that we're in an era of impunity. Because even in the military days, lawyers do defend people who were arrested for coup. That's people who were arrested for coup. Not lawyers go to defend them. Armed robbers, lawyers go to defend them. So this is what I think, that Nnamdi Kanu is just a victim of the Nigerian hatred on the Igbos. That's what, he has no case. And they should also know that this is not what this policeman used to say, I will shoot you, nothing will happen. If Nnamdi Kanu dies, something will happen. If Nnamdi Kanu dies, something will happen. Let it be on record. If Nnamdi Kanu dies, something will happen. They are playing with fire.
All right.
Everybody knows how war starts, but nobody knows how it will end.
All right, let's see how it all plays out. His legal team, they've been sacked. Barrister Lloyd Mako remains in police custody. Sowore, who led the protest for his release, is also in police custody at this time. We'll bring you more updates right here on Voice of People 90.3 FM as more updates emerge from this case. Thank you so much for joining me today, Dr. Peter Anoske.
Thank you for having.
Just before we wrap up, let's take a look at the top stories again right here on the World News at 12. You heard that Trump has imposed new sanctions on Russia. Nnamdi Kanu's lawyers withdraw from court case. Police arrest Sowore at Federal High Court in Abuja. And Amaechi declares himself the best ADC presidential aspirant. And that is a wrap on the World News at 12. My name is Chioma Innocent. Good afternoon and thank you for listening. Do stay tuned. Matters will come up at 1:30 p.m.